So here on this bank side we have this magnificent display of bluebells. Isn't that just wonderful? It's such a short-lived thing in May. I think stunning would be a very apt word to describe this. And that's the archetypal British bluebell, with its arching top and lovely curled, it's got this nice arching top, which the garden variety doesn't have. Belongs to the Avon group family, and there are two of them, and these are the leaves. There's a water avon and a wood avon, and they're very, very similar, and in some places they hybridize. In other words, they crossbreed, and it's quite difficult to tell which is which. It does have that lovely almost orange colour, pale orange. Oh. Very, very common. This little feathery leaf is pignut or earthnut. You tend to find them in meadows rather than in woodland, and it produces a long-stemmed, very simple white flower later in the year. But at the base of this leaf there is a little tuber. Looks like a small potato, about 3 or 4 inches under the ground. And as lads we used to dig them up, and you just scrape them with your fingernail and eat them. They're very tasty, have a chestnutty texture and a slightly peppery taste. But of course, once the flower has been produced, then the tuber tends to shrink and disappear as its resources are used up to produce the flower. And then of course, once the flower has once the flower has gone over, the leaves begin to produce a new tuber for the following year. We used to spend hours digging these up with a penknife and just pass the time. But today I don't suppose any youngsters even realise. Growing amongst these kingcups is a slightly bluish foliage plant. It hasn't flowered yet, it'll flower later, but it is in fact one of the mints. And if you just take a leaf, just scrunch it up, and smell it, it smells of mint. And it has quite a strong minty taste to it. Not as strong as garden mint. And I'm not sure I'd want to add it to a salad. The leaf is a little bit coarse. I seem to remember it has a blue flower. I'll check on it next time I come. And this is the red campion against the background of the little stream. A very, very common flower in association with bluebells. A lovely deep cerise colour. Very nice. This little plant, of which this is a miniature version, tends to grow in hedgerows. It's called Jack by the Hedge, and it grows in great profusion along hedgerows. In Woodland, this is quite a small version. There's a little white flower on it. The interesting thing about it is it's the food plant for the caterpillars of the orange-tipped butterfly, which you see at this time of year, and later in the year they all disappear. And it lays its eggs on here one at a time rather than a big clump, which most butterflies tend to do. And the caterpillars are very, very hard to see, very well camouflaged, and they sort of lie along the veins of the leaf. And which makes them very difficult to find. This flower belongs to the cow parsley family, pea shooters, and big hollow stems, but it has a much more delicate foliage, and you take a little bit and rub it in between your fingers. It smells very strongly of aniseed. Whether it's edible or not, I don't know, but it would be pure intro. Fennels with an aniseedy taste, I would imagine that's quite an interesting addition to a salad. Sweet sesame. The seeds are also a taste of aniseed. And there it is, growing on the banks of this little bit of river, close by in a woodland I've just been in. Another little woodland flower is growing on the edge of the wood here. Is ground ivy, this little blue flower. It's a very common flower, very, very pretty little flower with its deep purple centres. This fork growing in and you can see it much better. There it is. It's a bonny little flower, and we just take it so much for granted. And it grows sometimes in profusion. There's lots and lots and lots of them. Well, that was a lovely way to spend a day during the close season, beside this little beck in this delightful woodland, and so amongst all this wildlife, both birds and lovely flowers. And very occasionally you see a roe deer in here, but I haven't seen one for some while. I'll just leave you with the sounds of the warblers in this evening sunshine. And I'll see you again sometime when I come back to this little woodland and see how it's progressed during the months of June and July. For now, goodbye.